Geek Out!
No. Next time they shine your light in the sky, don't go to it.
Hey! Do you bleed? You will. You know what I'm saying?
And welcome to another installment of Catching
Up. I'm Sam.
I'm Jake.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Josh. Josh, who do you want to be?
The Invisible Man.
Ooh.
Incredible how you can.
See right through me.
So, as Jake alluded to with his
Shit.
Beavis and Butthead do Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, we're going to be talking about Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice.
Beavis, Dawn of Justice.
Yeah,
Dawn of Beavis.
Dawn of Cornholio.
I do really feel like it's, obviously, like it's split audiences and critics, kind of down the middle. I do feel like it's very much in the same vein of Man of Steel, so if you really like 2013's Man of Steel, that whole Superman reboot, it's in the same continuity. It's the
same director, same lead actor.
Same lead writer. If you liked Man of Steel, you'll probably really dig Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, right, Josh?
Yeah, definitely.
If you didn't, you won't.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I think it's one of those, last week you guys had talked about how Wonder Woman is like the best part.
Mm-hmm. Easily one of the best parts.
There is a slight chance that I'm going to pepper her theme throughout this episode.
Just da-na-na-na.
Well, like
every pause,
or at least
opening.
Or at least every time that we mention Wonder Woman.
I'm okay with that.
I just hope Warner Brothers music is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're not
It's
making
like
a dime off of it.
It's like less than 7 seconds. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
That's the rule. Yeah. So, I think
if not, I'll repost it without the music and apologize publicly.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was. Here's my thing. In my opinion, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice is like half a good movie, and none of that half has to do with Superman. Where do you? To kind of now go into spoiler land, because you guys have had
2 weeks,
2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
Where do you guys kind of a little more elaboration on it?
I'm definitely past the honeymoon phase. Like I can like right out the gate, I was like, fuck yeah! I've seen it a second time. Just earlier today, actually, and I saw more of its faults, but I still put it above Man of Steel. Personally, granted, I didn't really care for Man of Steel, or at least I had big qualms with it. This one, a lot of the problems that I have with it are very excusable to the to the fact that I still had a very good time watching it. And I liked watching it the first time. I liked watching it the second time. I actually, even though I was able to see more of its flaws in the second viewing, I still found myself enjoying it even more because of I was in the theater all by myself, so I really got to geek out when Wonder Woman came and the fucking Doomsday's blast, and you just hear "wa-na-na-na," and I was just like, yes. So I am on on the side of it was a good movie. It was it got me excited. It got my heart rate up when it was supposed to. I was shoveling, or the equivalent of shoveling popcorn down my throat, because I didn't have popcorn either viewing, but the equivalent of.
I'm curious, what's the equivalent of?
The first viewing was the Versus Wings at the Alamo Drafthouse, where half of them are quote unquote heat vision wings, and the other ones are bat wings, which were kind of weird. They were like this weird balsamic garlic glaze. The heat vision were just, I think it was habanero spice thrown into it, and I got through the first one and I was like, oh, this is like restaurant, like American restaurant spicy, where it's really just hot, mild. And then but after I put it down, I was like, oh no, there's the spice. And I was like, thank God I have a milkshake.
Gets you on the backswing.
Yeah, exactly. And then the second time was a pepperoni pizza. Because I'm classy and I go to the Alamo where they serve real food.
Now, Chris, I remember the first time I watched it with you, you were astonished at the runtime of the film and
Yes.
feeling like it wasn't as long as it should have been.
Well,
It didn't feel as long as it
didn't.
was.
Yeah, exactly. I thought that it was very well paced. I wasn't sitting there counting the minutes, going, "Oh my God, how long is this fucking movie?" The second time, I felt it a little bit more, but I think that's mostly just because I knew everything that was coming, and I was like, "Oh man, what do we got? Like 10 minutes until the next cool scene or something like that," and like just kind of remembering the high points of the movie for me, and just kind of like sitting through the things that I didn't either remember or the parts that were less pleasurable for me. So I was just like, let's get to the fucking whatever, let's get to Wonder Woman.
Right.
But
Jake, you've seen the movie 3 times.
Yeah. And all 3 times were kind of to see it through somebody else's eyes. The first time it was with Josh and Chris, and for myself, obviously. And the second time, my sister wanted to see it, mostly shirtless Cavill. And
that was a good part.
And the third time, Sam hadn't seen it yet, so we went, and I was, interested to hear what he had to think about it and talk a little bit about the movie. So obviously, I liked it enough to see it 3 times, but I don't know. I guess just for me, just start at the beginning because it's one of the more dumbfounding movies I've seen in a long time because when we first left the theater, I enjoyed it. I think definitely more than I enjoyed Man of Steel the first time, but I couldn't think of. Did I like the movie? Did I hate the movie? Because there's just so many questions and pointless, weird things in the movie for me.
To be fair, the first time we saw it, I was worried that we were going to have a Spectre moment where we're leaving the theater and I'm like, that was pretty good, right?
Yeah.
And you were going to be like, what?
Yeah. No, I wasn't like the guy who sat next to us who clearly said out
God.
loud, it's the biggest piece of shit he's ever seen.
That guy was awful.
Yeah, that guy was the biggest piece of shit I've ever seen.
He was a big piece of
Yeah.
shit.
Wait, was that when...
The guy that was
Yeah.
all the way down on
The very end.
my side of the rail. More so, like, during the credits, he was just like, and then they did this, and
Yeah.
then they did that. And
I'm really glad I didn't hear him because I would have had a Wonder Woman moment in the auditorium and just lunged right at him.
I'm sure you would have.
Yeah. But,
Absolutely.
and we do a good job
Look at
of
the shit-eating grin on Josh right there.
of not being like, those, hey, it wasn't like this in the comics, because I don't give a shit if it's like this in the comics,
Yeah, no,
really.
fuck him.
I like what I like, and,
You know what else isn't like it is in the comics? The fucking comics.
Yeah, I mean, it's 2 different things, whatever,
Yeah.
fuck it. But,
Just throw the judgment behind
but at
it.
the same time, you can not like a choice that, an actor makes or a writer makes or a director makes. And unfortunately with this one, like I said when we were kind of teasing it, Zack Snyder is very good at moments.
pieces.
He's very good at moments. Like, that's
Yeah.
a pretty shot. Like the Day of the Dead with Superman, all that kind of stuff. Like
Yeah.
almost straight
The
out
Death
of
of the Waynes.
Peace on Earth. Yeah. Stuff like that is good to look at.
Do you think he threw in the Day of the Dead celebration? I mean, partially it just looks cool, but also partially because he wishes he could have directed the Day of the Dead remake to go with his Dawn of the Dead remake.
Probably not.
I think I'm reading too much into that.
Yeah, and that's something.
I also don't believe that. I just thought that it was a fun little thing
Yeah.
to throw in there.
No, he obviously did because of Spectre.
But
Yes.
I forgot to bring that again. God damn it.
Oh God!
but he for
'Cause
me
I'm not paying to stream that on Amazon.
for me he's not a big picture guy.
Yeah,
I don't think he even knows what's ahead of him. And that is a problem because you're writing yourself into a corner and you're writing other people who have to take these characters on into a corner.
Yeah.
And that's a huge problem.
Well, I feel like a prime Zack Snyder film is Sucker Punch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fantastic set pieces.
Yeah.
Fantastic set pieces. Visually, a feast for the eyes. But
A piece de la résistance.
Le poisson. But
Le poisson, le poisson.
But as a whole, it doesn't. For me, it doesn't hold up.
Yeah. Also,
I-
it kind of ruined. Sorry, Chris.
Yeah.
It also kind of
was just going to talk about Sucker Punch.
Oh, good. No, do Sucker Punch now because
Oh,
I don't feel like we're going to go back to Sucker Punch.
I can still sit and enjoy it, but yeah, I agree. It feels like it doesn't know what kind of movie it is.
I can enjoy Watchmen more over it.
Well, again,
that's him using a comic book
he
as
has storyboards to go by to tell him this is how you do the story. The problem with this movie, spoilers from here on out, just it's going to happen. We're going to talk about this movie in depth.
Yeah, why are you listening to us review a movie that you haven't seen?
Yeah, but it's just
and give that much of a shit about.
Yeah,
yeah. Clearly, you don't care about spoilers.
But that being said, this movie kind of, for future reference, ruins the death of Superman in Dark Knight Returns. Because it's taking pieces from it, but not really doing anything with it. It
in itself takes the pieces that it really liked out of those stories, and effectively makes it so that if they ever try to do something like that, they have to either recycle exactly what we've seen already, or come up with something that's probably not going to be as good.
They always have strikes again, guys.
Yeah,
but
I'd see a batshit crazy Dark Knight Strikes Again.
They have DK3.
Yeah.
How does it? What does it ruin?
Well, the fact that it didn't tell the Dark Knight Returns story and just chose.
But I mean, you say
it
ruins these two properties.
No.
He's not saying he's not saying like fanboys say like this ruined my childhood.
Well,
he's saying it ruins the ability for them to go back into the well and take that story.
So you're saying it ruins film.
To make a live action Dark Knight Returns is going to have to either be this universe doesn't exist, which they're clearly not going to not do. They're not going to stop this universe.
They're not going to scrape it.
Unless they want to do like an Elseworlds thing. But like...
Oh, you're saying they can't ever bring that Batman story to the screen in this universe.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Oh, well, that's... Yeah, well, it already exists in an animated form.
Yeah, no,
And
the animated
comic
film is fantastic, but I'm saying if they ever want to make a live action film, which I feel like that would be great to see.
Which, if they ever decide, to leave this universe behind and like reboot it again, which
they've clearly never had a problem with doing that.
Yeah, that's true, but they also invested.
They're not
going to scrap it to make a Dark Knight.
Not anytime.
Again,
soon.
that's proving the point. They're not going to scrap it to make a Dark Knight Returns movie because in their eyes they've made a Dark Knight Returns movie. Also, it ruins Death of Superman way more because this is the second film in their universe. And they have killed Superman. Fine, whatever. I don't care that they killed Superman.
Lethal Weapon style.
Yeah. But the problem with that is for me is that it didn't feel earned in the sense that we don't know if the world. It's never really explicitly said whether the world gives a shit about Superman or not. Mm-hmm. Because after the Senate bombing, they're like stringing up things of Superman and burning him, and they're like, "Fuck him, fuck him," and then other people are like, "No, but he saved that family from a flood." And because that was
he dragged that ship.
That was Zack. And the montage.
Save those Russian cosmonauts.
I agree with
Yes.
Josh. I think that montage is great, but that was almost like Zack Snyder's way of saying, "Look, he saves people. Okay, look, he saves people. Get out of the way."
Yeah.
But okay, now let's get back.
These
to
parts of town are completely deserted.
Yeah.
For that island is uninhabited.
Yeah.
But I agree.
Space
for them,
is completely uninhabited.
Yeah. For them to aliens exist.
Yeah.
Superman proves that.
Independence Day 4 Part 2.
Yeah. You're the answer to the question, son.
But I agree. The to do something that big and have us as an audience care about it. You need to earn it, and like it would have been great. It would have been great if he had spent if they wanted to kill him off and make me cry about Superman being killed off.
Yeah.
Like they should have, they can go ahead and keep like the world hating him, but give him an entire movie where he's literally breaking his back trying to do everything he can to prove to the people that he's a good person. Not just like the closest thing to that we get is like him struggling with himself, like whether or not it's worth it for him.
Yeah,
and I love that.
It was good. It was good, but it wasn't death worthy.
But also, what you explained. That happened to me. The entire sequence with that conversation from Lois to the spear to all of that leading up, I was in tears both times during that.
The problem for me is with that, like I said, if just jokingly, like put him in Justice, in the third Justice League movie where like the heroes can go to the funeral and the world cares.
Yeah.
Also, have the world witness it.
Yeah.
Like have people gathered around and they see Superman die to save them. Yeah. It's done in a place where no one else sees it, and the next thing you know, they're burying two coffins.
kind of like in Superman 2, where like he gets shoved down in the underworld, and like the entire New York / Metropolis populace, they're like, let's band together and go kill these 3 superheroes.
Hopefully not that, because that's like
but no, what I'm saying is like that did a better job of like making it public.
But also have like they have it on television, and like Martha Kent is there and she can't tell anybody that she just saw her son be killed, and like having to play that off, and they took everything. The only thing they actually took from Death of Superman was the actual death of Superman.
They didn't even take the right hits. It wasn't just hey, punch out, cool.
Yeah.
What was it? Face punch or fist punch?
Yeah, they just punch each other. It's Rocky 3.
Well, I mean, but I'm trying to make a reference to the Max Landis thing.
Yeah. Punch.
Yeah, but what I was getting at earlier with them falling short of the proper emotional bind. It's just kind of like how Zack Snyder fell short in Man of Steel, where like we're supposed to care that he kills Zod, but I don't give a shit. He's let thousands of people die.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I got I can understand where Snyder was going with why there was a caring moment for that, and I did understand with where the character of Superman is supposed to feel the anger of killing on Earth the very last Kryptonian.
That makes sense. But don't open your next movie with him clearly killing another person.
The warlord guy?
Yeah. Again, they don't say he killed him, so in the Snyder universe it means he didn't die. But he
throws him
through 3 walls at Mox, breaking the sound barrier. So he's dead.
He's probably liquid.
He's paste. There's the deleted scene, probably in the 3-hour cut of Superman cleaning himself off of Warlord.
Show me the body and I'll believe it.
Like Zod. We know Zod's dead.
Yeah.
Because he spent half the film as a body.
Oh, I love the effects they put in for that body.
The fake wang. Or the lack of a wang.
Lack of wang.
Well, just
the Ken doll.
Batman v Superman, lack of wang.
Dawn of Ken doll. Yeah. But
maybe that's what the R-rated cut is.
Yeah.
Just maximum Zod wang.
It wouldn't put me past.
We had to digitally edit him out of the theatrical cut, but here we can have his penis just like Dr. Manhattan. Yeah. Awesome.
They bring the same guy back who has to work on the jiggle of the dick.
Yeah.
Make sure the dick jiggles the
right
way.
I'm actually kind of glad you brought up Dr. Manhattan, because I always thought that was one of the best interpretations of how the real world would deal with an actual Superman, like that powerful and that detached from the human race.
Yeah, and that was always
kind of the point.
That was the idea of Watchmen. Like, what if this was like, what if they actually existed through American history?
Yeah,
Superman is real. He's an American.
Yeah. I think my favorite moment, my favorite Superman moment in Batman vs Superman, and it's so fucking quintessentially Superman, is Lex Luthor is treated. I mean, of course, he's going to treat.
It is Lex Luthor.
Yeah, he's going to treat the last son of Krypton like some shit. It's no big surprise that he's the big mastermind of this cocking thing. But the when Doomsday comes out, very kind of like Frankensteinian, he's like, "Hey, I'm your dad. Let's fuck." And
very Nuclear Man style.
Yeah, and Doomsday
goes to
fucking kill him, and without hesitating, even though this dude kidnapped and tortured his mother, even though he
threatened to kill, even though he just got confirmation that she's alive.
Yeah, even though
basically, was going to kill his mother.
Yeah, was fully intending to kill his mom. He kidnapped Lois Lane. Everything.
Was ready to did toss her off the top
of a fucking building. Yeah,
as his mother.
Superman still, without hesitating, jumps in to save Lex Luthor's life.
And that, great moment. I know, Josh, you prefer the montage of him saving people, but I think Sam's totally right. Like to me, that's even more quintessential Superman, because like he can save all the innocents in the world, and that's fine. That's what Superman does. Yeah, but like for him to also save his arch nemesis, even though like at this point he's not an arch nemesis, but he's still
took his mom, dude. Took his mom.
Yeah,
and still willing to save him. Yeah, that's more Superman than anything than the entirety of the Man of Steel.
Yeah, no, definitely that. Trying to at the very start of the fight with Doomsday, get him out into
awesome.
Out into the atmosphere. Out of the planet. And and how they deal with that scene of the president being like, telling the president, "Look, you're probably going to kill Superman if you do this." And he's like, "Well, God help us."
One victim.
Yeah. One victim,
and still does it. That's entirely believable.
President's got to make the hard decisions, baby.
God help us all.
I wish they would stop using that.
Well, no,
line.
that's it. You have to say "God help us all" before you turn the key. That's
Yeah,
part
it's
of the
part of-
direction.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
have
it's
to
the
say-
voice command.
And then, But
It's written on the key in case
now,
you forget it.
Speaking of
What if we have an atheist president?
yeah, nobody. We're fucked.
Nobody help us all.
Yeah.
Lack. The void.
Yeah.
Science, help us all.
Flying spaghetti monster.
my
God help us.
science. And speaking of Superman moments, let's talk about some of the good Superman moments because there are, Cavill does his best to make it a Superman.
Is there a bird?
But I even though I don't like that that's his return moment is when he saves Lois when she's falling, like he's just there, like
Yeah.
there's not like a sonic
Smiling.
boom.
Yeah.
He's just there, like I got you. And I
Well,
do
we
like
can't hear it over her screaming.
yeah, that's true. I do like Josh was saying, the moment where you get that stupid fucking scene with his dad where it's like you think it's a fortress and he's wearing a snow cap and like a beanie and he's got like stubble and
I let
he's-
these horses drown.
yeah, and I ate cake. Did the nightmares ever stop? When I met your mom. Yeah, but even though I think that scene was dumb, when he says I miss you, son, and I miss you too, like that was almost worth it for that. But I feel like Clark has to realize, I guess, throughout the movie, like why he loves Lois. Is that a plot of the movie? I guess because he's going like, oh my God, like in that moment, Lois is the key. Like, I can get beaten down by the press. I can get beaten down by this false god thing, but I have Lois to go home to every night. That's my connection to Earth. That's my connection to Earth more than, anything else.
Yes.
Not Superman. And so that moment where he looks at Lois when he picks up the kryptonite spear, like, he's fucked up and shit, and he's getting ready to like go into the unknown. He looks at her and Cavill does his best to not fuck up, to make Superman as great as possible, no matter Snyder and everyone else seems to not give a shit. He that was very douchey, but fuck it. He
Just lay it all out.
he looks at Lois, and as the fucking world is ending, he looks at her and he's like, I love you. And then earlier on he talks about he doesn't have a world, but he's like, this is my world, you're my world, and he picks the spear up and goes headlong into the unknown, not knowing what's going to happen, to kick ass. That is a very Superman moment. Unfortunately, it's surrounded by shit, like very stupid shit. Like for example,
the fact that Lois is
like,
there.
Yeah, well, I gave it props, and I'll give it some more props later. But the shit is, what was Lex Luthor's plan? To create Doomsday and then just die, like have the world die? That's his plan.
He honestly, in his so egotistical mind, was like, "Of course he'll respond to my shits."
I'm
Because he
his
clearly,
father.
he didn't think it would try to kill him.
Well, it was also his backup plan.
His backup plan was to.
Remember, it was originally they were supposed to kill each other.
Yeah. Well, again.
One of them was supposed to win.
Yeah. That's another problem I have is the Batman is like a gullible fuck. Like he's stupid.
World's greatest detective.
The world's dumbest detective in this movie.
World's most brilliant criminal.
He's a dumbass.
Nemesis. In this movie, he's maybe not the best detective.
He's
but
pretty dumb.
I will
It
say,
Well, I
exists
mean,
in its own
You
universe.
have the world's greatest detective being duped by the world's most brilliant criminal.
No, the world's
each
most
have those titles.
The world's most brilliant criminal, as we just said, created a plan that was the backup plan was to accidentally destroy the fucking world. So he in this universe, he is not the world's brightest or
He's dealing with science. He just got a crash course in.
if he's the world's
if he's the world's like smartest criminal or whatever, he would know that he just had a.
he would know, like,
crash
hey,
course
maybe
in
I
it.
don't wear fingertips and bleed on somebody and create a mutoid.
Do you
freak.
bleed?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
And like, I would have loved if like Luthor tries that shit on Batman, and Batman is immediately like, "Get the fuck out of here!" Like the beginning of the movie, not the Wayne murders, but the Metropolis destruction from Wayne is fucking awesome. There is a badass shot where you see the Kryptonian ship as the Hans Zimmer and the Junkie XL music is just, the score is fucking amazing, just leveling fucking buildings, just going to town. And you get that shot where I guess Chad is the guy's name. You see Superman fly, get punched into the building, the floor underneath him, and we know what's going on down there because we saw it earlier. The problem is, I feel like Batman's rage, or that rage where Bruce Wayne looks up and he sees Superman is Zod, and he's like, "That's my fucking enemy right there." I feel like throughout the movie, that motivation for him taking out Superman changes. It's not just. It should have been. I thought, and I think we all did, it was going to be just that simple. And it seems to have changed throughout the course of the movie, that there's more to it than just I need to take him out.
A man that created a city of orphans.
Yeah. Yeah, and that should have been enough. And I feel like, then Luthor tries to get in to do this and that. And there's also a weird moment where when the Senate building explodes, Bruce plays a moment. Well, not yet, Sam. We're getting there. There's a moment, though, where Bruce on his face, when he's watching the Senate explode, I thought there was going to be that moment where, obviously they haven't fought yet, but there was a moment where he realized that Superman isn't his enemy. And it's weird because it seems like he's playing it like that, but then the very next scene, he's like, let's fucking fight. I'm going to turn on the bat signal and wait until you come here.
Superman,
and it just conveniently is the night of Lex Luthor's plan.
Rainy night, yeah.
yeah,
and Lex Luthor's plan.
He hates Superman for that, for the same reason that the general public did, and what Superman says to Lois, like, I didn't know the bomb was there because I wasn't looking for it.
That does, to me, that's such a story
Batman
cop
hates
out.
him because, he assumes, like, he didn't realize the bomb was there for being this great all-powerful
I don't
being.
buy that.
No.
I don't buy that.
You cannot, but that's
I mean,
the logic for it.
Logic.
Yeah. I don't think Bruce Wayne knew that Superman was like I didn't look hard enough for
Yeah, that's what Superman says to.
Superman says it to
yeah.
Lois, but
To-
Bruce
to-
wouldn't
to
be like,
hate
oh,
himself.
Yeah. He should have known.
he should have known.
Yeah.
I think
No,
it's more
he's-
of just like, you brought this to us. If you hadn't been here, none of this would have ever
Well, like,
happened.
it's more like, for me, it's more
Okay.
Bruce. It's more Bruce saying, you're just everywhere you go is a fucking trail of destruction.
I
Yeah.
do.
That works too.
Yeah, and I do
I
like.
know it works too.
I do I do like the. We were saying, that I'm older than my father ever was. Like little moments like that. But then, like, there's like that weird thing where he's like, "This is my legacy," and like, even Alfred is at that. Like, we fucking fought criminals for 20 years, dude.
Yeah.
This is your legacy, and it becomes almost very like villainous, where he's like, "I must kill." Where it should have. I thought it was gonna be more of you have to be put in check.
Yeah.
Well, I
kinda
like his
thing.
response to the, we fought villains for 20 years, and it's like villains are like weeds. I put one away, another comes in and takes its place. Like, it's meant nothing over the long run.
Yeah, at this point, like, I think the
That's why I must kill.
the implication is that Batman's been doing this for like 20 years.
Yeah.
20 plus, at least.
20,
yeah.
20 plus.
Yeah. Alfred says 20.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it is a very seasoned, upset, and
I mean, he's lost to Robin.
very,
Yeah.
May have
angry,
lost even
violent
more.
Batman.
Mm.
But
May-
I just feel like like his whole legacy is to that line just rubbed me the wrong way, that his whole legacy would be to kill Superman.
And-
Hinged on
A
Superman.
lot of villains have also brought it across to Batman, especially the Joker. Like, you just, you keep doing this, and it doesn't, you don't get anywhere with this. You catch us, put us away in Arkham, we break out, we do it all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a moment.
But that hasn't happened in this universe yet. I mean,
We
it's
haven't seen it in this universe.
Yeah.
There's very clearly established a Joker in this universe.
Mm-hmm.
But also the theme of Batman's efforts never truly making a difference have happened in many different variations as well. And I think that's why he added that line to this as well.
I think at least by the metric that Ben Affleck's Batman's going by, yeah, he doesn't think he's making a difference. I like to think.
I do like that.
I like to think that Batman.
Well, again, that's
makes
why that
a
line rubbed me the wrong way. That he just feels
Yeah.
like I
And
haven't done anything.
Do you
then.
think that was a Goyer or a Terrio?
the
It's hard to.
I don't
Probably-
know.
probably
That
a ter-
exchange.
Probably
Yeah.
a Terrio,
Yeah.
just given the nature of how we think the rewrites kind of
Mhm.
went.
If Bruce
It was
Wayne,
a very heavy line, so it was probably the rewrite.
Oh, what do you think a Goyer version of that would have been?
a Goyer version of that,
I gotta kill him.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
must make stabby stick and stab Superman.
Yeah, I don't know. Take a line from Blade Trinity. I don't know.
Yeah.
Done.
It would be welcome in this one.
Just throw Triple H in there.
Yeah. And Dominic Purcell. Didn't they kill him off in Legends of Tomorrow? Spoilers.
I don't know.
Who?
I stopped watching after the second episode.
Doesn't Captain Cold kill Heatwave?
No,
Heat wave.
no, he doesn't.
Doesn't he leave him stranded in the past or something?
Yes,
No.
but it doesn't kill him.
I do like the
It's-
to
they-
kill you.
They are time
don't have to
travelers.
say
They
that.
could go back.
Trust me, he does not kill him.
Well, let's talk about the Batman killing stuff then. Does that rub you guys the wrong way? Do you have a problem with it?
It catches me off
No.
guard. It's always weird to see.
Yeah,
Mhm.
even
But-
even in the Tim Burton and the Joel Schumacher, like it always was like Batman doesn't kill.
Yeah. It's weird, but it doesn't take me out.
What threw me off more was Batman wielding a gun, because that has been like the one, like quote unquote constant. Beyond his parents dying.
Yeah, in the movies, it's been a constant.
Except, like, he always has like vehicles that are loaded up with weapons.
Yeah,
and stuff,
ever since like 1989.
Yeah, which bothers me. But seeing him actually hold a gun, not one that he picked up off of another person, but actually like pull out a gun.
Have a holster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh.
Now
we're basically talking about the nightmare scene.
Yeah.
Yes.
The only time he ever shoots to kill, like, and kills, we're assuming, somebody with a gun that like hits flesh. I'm being very weird because it's all proxy in the Snyder universe because it's fucking Snyder.
Thank you for that one, Jake.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's not his gun because he doesn't shoot him in the head.
Yeah, he didn't own it. He didn't buy it. But no, so in the
He
nightmare
didn't file the serial
in the
number
nightmare
off.
scene, yes, he uses guns and he shoots people with it. There is a cool moment in the clearing of the room where he picks up a goon's gun and he fires above all of them to get them into either to scare them or get them down in a certain range so he can take them out. And kind of, almost use it as an improvised flashbang to get them kind of.
And I did like he had those little like magnetic
things from
that,
Arkham.
Yeah,
Arkham
I was
games.
like, ooh.
Well, also in the nightmare sequence, he's even beating people with the gun. Like even after he's done firing it, he's still using it as a weapon.
Again,
that makes
sense.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I did really enjoy though, like him beating them with the gun and then like going right into like the shoulder position and then firing and shooting people with it. This is the apocalypse, man.
To continue my point, I did get over it. I wasn't like, no, Batman never uses guns. This movie's terrible because of that one fact. No, I was like, huh, okay, and I like eased into it, and I was like, all right, Batman can have a gun.
Well, and the very first times he appeared in comics, way back in the day, he did carry a gun, right?
Yeah.
Which he used.
Yeah. So,
but the character has
from
changed
the
a lot.
Well, yeah, like in the comics of, and this is just a quick side note, like Captain America used back in World War II times carried a .45, and very briefly beyond that, and in the Marvel films did, and then stopped. So
because he was a soldier.
Yeah, it's a little. I mean, that's again just different. Cap was always the soldier. There was a weird period, and I feel like the 70s and 80s, where in the comics, I forget. I think it was like Steve Englehart or somebody tried to posit that even in World War II, Captain America didn't kill anybody. He's like, oh, they're like, didn't you kill anybody in the big one? And he's just like, no, I always made a point to make sure. And then like when what's his name, Ed Brubaker took over the title in 2005, he's like, no, he fucking killed Nazis.
Doesn't Wolverine? Doesn't he, like him and Wolverine have a conversation?
Yeah,
and Wolverine's like,
wartime.
Get fucking real, dude.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not like you, Logan. I'm not a killer. And he's like, we served together in World War II.
Yeah,
you totally killed people.
Yeah, and it's.
And for like Batman '89, I had never actually thought that very final scene with the Joker was like him like letting the Joker go. I thought the Joker had actually slipped out of his grasp.
Oh, you didn't see the gargoyle, the wraparound?
Yeah, well, I had, but my brain had always told me Batman didn't actually drop him or didn't intentionally make it to where the Joker was. He didn't try to go out of his way to kill the Joker.
I don't think he gave a shit.
I think his immediate in that one, I think his immediate plan was just to tether him to the building.
That's what
and
I
it
thought.
just happened to break apart.
Yeah.
He also though had every intention of punching him off the fucking balcony with the glasses on.
Yeah, even with the glasses.
He kills a shit ton of Joker goons with the Batwing.
Oh, in the parade, yeah.
Like like a dude gets like mowed down, like he doesn't like fall in half. He crinkles to the ground hard after getting hit by some rounds.
Yeah, I mean.
And they're not rubber bullets. I mean, they never say, but fucking come on.
No, these aren't the Arkham games.
Yeah. Just it's like the Warlord. We don't have to see the body, just like we don't have to know if the bullets are metal or rubber.
I mean, well, yeah. If people are thinking of like Batman not killing people in the Arkham Knight video game, they go out of their way to where if you hit someone with the Batmobile, it doesn't matter what speed you're doing it, they get like electrocuted and thrown off. You can hit people like 60 miles per hour with this car, and don't try and tell us you're not actually killing people because they're getting electrocuted and thrown away from the car.
Is that the best part of using the Batmobile in Arkham Knight?
Yes.
I did like the Batmobile scene in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
The introduction of the Batmobile was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Again, like, it's weird to see Batman kill people. Like, it's kind of like almost like a bit jarring, like, oh, we're going there. But it's not, it doesn't take me out of the film, and it's not, by no means is it unprecedented.
And they do the thing that they've done in most of the other movies where they never show Batman full of glee, like killing someone. Also, they never show Batman go out of his way to like be like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's something where they are firing a 50 caliber weapon at him on the back of a truck. He's not going to go, now what's the non-lethal way to do this? He's lighting him up, and
it doesn't cut to like a Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes-y and kind of like, let me calculate the different ways.
I don't think there's a part of me that, like, I honestly don't think that people are even that outraged, like, because we've been brought up by like the wonderful Dark Knight trilogy where they go out of their way to talk about, like, he doesn't kill, no guns, blah blah blah,
animated series.
And so and even the Dark Knight Returns, the semi source material for the thing, he makes a point to say rubber bullets with the Batmobile, Bat tank, you want to call it, but they do have that moment where he pretty much shoots a guy between the fucking eyes with an M60 round, which is referenced in this. And funny enough, Snyder doesn't have him shoot him between the eyes, even though everyone on set was saying you need to do that. And he said, no, and has him instead burn to death. KG Beast. Burned to death.
KG Beast. KG fucking Beast.
Yeah, it wasn't until I read your review that I remembered, oh, wait, that guy was cast in the film, and that's who this Russian guy was this entire time.
Also one of the nameless guys that gets beat the fuck up by Captain America in The Winter Soldier.
That's right.
Oh.
In the elevator sequence.
Oh, fuck yeah, that's that guy.
He's the one that's like, sorry, Cap, or whatever the line is.
He's very noticeable because he's got the scar. That's not a makeup decision.
Isn't he the one on the airplane, too, that's like, did he just jump with a parachute? And he's like, yes, he did.
Without a parachute.
Yeah, but he's part
not
of that
Crossbones.
exchange.
Yeah, he's not Crossbones. He's the other guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am still like, even as like middling as I am on Batman vs Superman, it did get me stoked for Civil War.
Oh yeah.
I'm ready.
You know what's going to happen when it comes out, though? It's going to restart the whole Marvel DC like fanboy debate like crazy.
And then in 10 years, we can have Marvel versus DC.
I feel like there's a lot of backlash that happened to this film that not only I feel like did really harm it more than needed to happen, but is also might harm another film.
Suicide Squad?
Yes.
You're worried about the reshoots.
Yeah, and I'm worried that if they are actually adding that because people enjoyed the Bohemian Rhapsody trailer or because everyone yelled at DC for this Batman vs Superman being so dark, they're like, okay, we really need to force humor into Suicide Squad, and that it's just not gonna feel
the Star Trek V syndrome, where William Shatner shoots a serious Star Trek movie. And the Paramount sees the box office.
That's what God needs with a starship, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And Paramount sees the box office totals from the comedic Star Trek 4, and they're like, put more comedy in there, show.
I mean, if it turns like that, I won't have a problem because I actually like Star Trek V.
It's my gateway into Star Trek.
It's
one
of my favorite Star Trek movies.
Or if it turns out like a lot of this other shit is just feeling shoved in all of a sudden. Like, this scene just doesn't even look right, not only because of the reshoot, but because of the added humor.
At the same time, David Ayers is one of those directors that if he doesn't want to do something, he's not going to fucking do it.
I trust in David Ayers, sabotage aside, way more than Zack Snyder.
Yeah, I just hope this isn't like... Because a lot of other people have also been saying, like, Warner Brothers, you really need to get your hands into these projects all of us, like, now. And I hope it's... Like, if the reshoot is, like, David Ayer just going through every single one and making sure it
if that's
feels
the case,
right.
I feel like people are making more of it than it actually
they
is.
are,
They always build in reshoots in big.
If that's the
now.
case, though, if Warner Brothers is behind the scenes freaking out, and I bet they are a little bit, why is Zack Snyder like? I'm never gonna sign a petition. I don't give a shit about the petition. I'm not buying into that bullshit. Yeah. But how is he?
That's why it's not working.
Yeah,
Jake.
I'm the one.
They need that one signature.
Yeah, but how then? If Warner
just
Brothers
like how
just
Sam's the reason why the Pete Holmes show never.
Yeah, and I'm the reason constantly
Pete.
didn't get picked up. How then is Warner Brothers fine with Zack Snyder still keeping a job?
Well, who directed Kingdom of the Crystal Skull?
Steven Spielberg.
Spielberg. He also directed Bridge of Spies. I don't think those two films were bad because of Spielberg. I don't think Batman vs Superman and Man of Steel failed solely because of Zack Snyder.
But I think that Crystal Skull was bad because of Spielberg.
More so because of Lucas. In my
Also,
opinion,
Bridge of
but-
Spies won an Oscar and was like critically acclaimed.
And both of those movies are super critical. Like, I do blame that.
I'm
we
not-
know I have no love for Bridge of Spies.
yeah, I'm not throwing Zack Snyder saying he's the only one, but like the dude's had 2 movies, and if we're going by critical and numbers, this is making more money than Man of Steel already did, basically. But the problem is the drop off's huge, and critically, hey,
Possibly
like it or
Man of
not,
Steel.
yeah, like it or not, with critics, whatever, this movie's getting savaged, and that's got to get Warner Brothers worried. And so their faith in Justice League, and by that very extension, if this is to be believed as Suicide Squad, is fucking with Suicide Squad. By that idea of Snyder doesn't have a story.
Snyder has absolutely nothing to do with Suicide Squad as well. So why are they like, hey, we need to change Suicide Squad?
He's a producer.
So he's throwing money at it. Like, is he an executive producer?
Since he's basically like, kind of almost like an upgraded creative consultant, a little more so than Joss Whedon was on all the Phase 2s.
Basically, what I would like is to see, and we're gonna get it, but I want to, I'm very curious to see what a DC movie is like in this universe that is not directed by Zack Snyder.
Well, yeah, we're gonna get it with Suicide Squad. We're gonna get it with Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
We're gonna get it with Aquaman. We're gonna get it with Cyborg. We're gonna get it with the Green Lantern Corps. We're gonna get it with the Flash.
Does Cyborg get it, or I just thought Cyborg was in Flash.
Yeah, Cyborg and
The
Flash.
rumors is he's gonna team up with the Flash film, but I gotta assume he's gonna get his own film as well.
I know Captain Marvel / Shazam.
Yeah.
Oh, that film, which to this point
mean,
we still don't know
who
even
knows?
how that's gonna fit into the DC universe.
Originally, it wasn't supposed to.
Based on that, just because he's a hero doesn't necessarily mean he's going to get his own movie, though. Going back to Cyborg, Hawkeye, Black Widow,
No.
Vision.
They need a team up though.
Yeah.
They really
Budapest.
Yes,
They
we
need one,
Budapest.
but we're probably never gonna get one.
Yeah.
I'd even do fine with a Netflix series, but
so would
Renner, man.
yeah, but I think like Suicide Squad didn't need to be touched. But
Well,
who
you don't
knows?
know.
In the end,
Who
it
knows?
might turn out
what,
great.
what if it was terrible, and someone at Warner Brothers looked at it and they were like, "This is terrible."
Again, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's just like because reshoots are a bitch to plan with
Yeah.
how busy everybody is.
Mhm.
Reshoots are built into schedules.
Yeah, and every movie has some amount of reshoots.
I think just the fact that the reshoots happened after the premiere of Batman vs Superman, everyone's like, I wonder how heavily influenced by Batman vs Superman it's going to be, and it's like probably not at all.
And you know what? I bet you, a lot of those reports are blown out of proportion. Like maybe there's
hope
one
so.
scene that they were like, we need to punch this up
Yeah.
Yeah.
and add more humor.
Yeah.
And
Some
therefore,
scooper
and then-
was like,
yeah, some scooper was like, whoa,
Like
Yeah.
more Captain Boomerang drinking.
yeah, why not?
yes, that's what. The
Yeah.
More scenes of him just like sneaking away.
Or is that the only? What the fuck is that?
Jay
guys?
Courtney?
Is that the only Jay Courtney
Yes.
performance you're stoked about?
Yes. Yeah,
His
100%.
entire fucking career.
100%. I'm actually really stoked for his
What else has he
boomerang.
been in?
Terminator Genesis.
A Good Day to Die Hard.
He was Kyle Reese, and he was John McClane's son in A Good Day to Die. Good Day to Die.
Good
Die
day.
today hard.
Die to Day Hard.
Good die today hard.
You know what? It is a good.
But again,
die
yes,
today hard.
there's no one usually ever solely responsible for a movie being good or bad. I just feel like
Except for George Lucas with the prequels.
the story. Yeah, well, he had a lot of
Well, he has so much control
the
over those.
story or whatever Snyder's trying to do. I just feel like is got more problems, creating more holes. There's more holes in a sinking, not a sinking ship, but there's because this it'll move on and make
There
money
needs to
and
be
fine.
a bit of a course correction.
But I think there does.
really-
Yeah,
I agree with you wholeheartedly that I would love to see someone else direct Justice League. I don't need Zack Snyder to direct Justice League.
yeah.
It worked fine with
Is he
Marvel.
going to? Of course.
It worked fine with Marvel. They got a different director for the Avengers, big Avengers movie.
yeah, Infinity Wars.
I mean,
I'm just saying, like, Joss Whedon didn't direct any of the Phase 1 movies,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
I mean, well, unless you count the Avengers.
But you mean any of the build up?
Yeah. But I mean, Justice League could be the one that, because there's also reports that Warner Brothers is going to become more involved with Justice League, at least Part 1, and it could turn around. This could, Justice League Part 1 could be
Yeah,
the
I mean, they
film
haven't
where,
even
that
started filming
redeems
it yet.
him.
It's
in
possible.
The DCU.
It's
You know
possible.
what? The big thing that calms me about Justice League It's being unlike Batman v Superman, just getting incremental or marginal rewrites from Chris Terrio. Chris Terrio is writing all of Justice League Part 1.
Wait, there's no Goyer involvement at all.
I'm sure he gets a story by credit.
But it's not like he's just slamming his dick all over the script, being like, mine.
I feel like
Gavel banging it.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a Terrio page 1 rewrite.
Yeah. Meaning
Page
he
one
rewrote the
rewrite.
whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Starting from page 1.
Okay.
Not just peppered in lines and scenes
And
like he
then
did
from
with Batman
like
vs.
what
Superman.
Terrio did for all the Batman parts of, and then being like, oh, and Flash is bringing real humor into it, and
Back in a Flash.
God, does he always say that?
You have to.
Yeah.
I would if I was the Flash.
Yeah, so would I.
And
Flash fact.
He's referencing Young Justice thing,
and
it's
Wonder
wonderful.
Woman, obviously bringing light to the film, which it actually I thought did get brighter when she showed up.
Oh, it's not Doomsday that kicks the climax into high gear. It's Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Like, I think the ensemble pieces were the, real
The
magic.
jack to the tits.
Yes. What happened?
Yeah, seeing the Trinity walk slow-mo, like, for the first time, that's awesome. That
It
doesn't
looked
get
like
old.
a Call of Duty commercial.
It did.
It did.
Yeah.
But, like, seeing the lasso of truth go around Doomsday as, like, they're working together and Batman shoots him with a kryptonite smoke grenade from, like, a mile away. He's like, I did good.
Look what I did.
Yeah. Seeing them fight, for the most part, was pretty cool.
Dude, Wonder Woman rocking Doomsday.
Oh, yeah.
Just awesome.
Oh, then her getting
And, like,
rocked
her-
and smiling.
Yeah,
That's the
just
best
like
part.
the shit-eating grin that she had. She
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, it's a fight."
Yeah, it's like when Thor
And-
smiles after getting punched by the Hulk.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but
You're wrong.
is it Goyer who had been interviewed before and had, like, not nice things to say about either Wonder Woman or female characters?
It sounds kind of like it.
And
I
Martian
wanna
Manhunter,
say-
too, I think.
That and Martian Manhunter.
Yeah. But yeah, he said some shitty things about Wonder Woman, and I remember everyone was like, this is the dude in charge of the DC cinematic universe.
Yeah, and I now am believing, like, Wonder Woman's performances and, amount that she had in the film had nothing to do with Goyer involvement.
Well, I mean, we don't know.
Because she was, in her fight scenes was doing well, kicking ass, enjoying herself in the film, and had some really clever lines, had a great entrance. And for someone that, like, in interview shat on her character, I don't imagine
maybe
that came from him.
It could have also been like, "I'm gonna prove how to, this is how you do female characters."
Yeah, also, he's not running for office. And even if he was, politicians don't stay consistent.
Yeah, just look at Hillary.
Oh! Or any of the GOP candidates. Oh! God damn it. I always try to keep politics out of it.
I mean, I enjoyed this film just nonstop, both viewings. I'm the guy that drove down last year to, outside of Virginia Beach to see the IMAX
roads,
trailer.
Yeah. And then
For
you
the very
drove
first
down
time.
again.
Yeah, because we were told after seeing the trailer, oh, by the way, you're going to see the movie for free here next year.
Yeah.
Like, well, awesome.
Again, I feel like if you love Man of Steel, you're going to love Batman vs. Superman.
Yeah,
I think all the same strengths, but at the same time, all the same flaws are there.
They did a great job of keeping it in that universe.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I do applaud their consistency.
but I just feel like, and also there
That's as much as it is.
there was some criticism for this film that, like, also wasn't there for Man of Steel.
Well, because we didn't
Yeah.
know Man of Steel. People were criticizing this based on Man of Steel.
Yeah, but I mean, there was just
You can't criticize something that doesn't exist yet. I mean, not for lack of trying.
the internet
on
does.
the internet. Yeah,
Yeah.
but like,
yeah,
like
but
they
what's
had
the Rotten
they had
Tomatoes
something.
score
I
for
don't-
Man of Steel?
I don't know. I don't care about
50
Rotten
something.
Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Or maybe late 40s or
Late
50s.
40s.
Yeah, late 40s.
Mid to
early
late
50s.
40s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like
It's
people,
not fresh. It's rotten. On,
people saw that and based their opinions before the movie even came out based
Yeah.
on that.
So it's for me, and I could probably say for all of us, especially Josh, it doesn't deserve the Rotten Tomato score. But at the same time, who gives a shit? If you liked it, you liked it. If you didn't like it, you didn't like it.
Yeah.
If you paid money to see it, good.
I have got my opinion about the film. You will not change my opinion
Yeah,
about the
and
film.
I feel like too many people are really get wrapped up in Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Where it's something that it's a generator for.
it's an aggregate.
Yeah, And so, the fact that they're putting little stickers on movies to let you know if it's got a good review or not.
Oh
is
yeah,
kinda
like
silly.
on the DVD boxes.
I think it's as harmful as the ratings board at times.
It's a different debate for a different day.
yeah, and also that is. But it's a fascinating movie.
Yes,
for sure. I mean,
it'll certainly generate discussion.
Yeah.
It's not unwatchable. If you have curiosity in the film,
some people it is.
See it.
Yeah.
Some people have been very vocal about that.
Yeah.
I think I don't agree with them, but
it's more of. I think it's more of what to you. It's clearly. I'm curious, like for real. Like, did you have any problems with the movie? Was there anything that you were like, I didn't like that, or I thought that was dumb?
that could have been better.
Maybe trim this.
If anything, I
that
think
one shot where it pans to a wall for no reason. After
is that really where I don't remember which time you're talking about.
It pissed me off both times I watched it. That was the first time I was totally like, just like in it, and I was like, yes, this movie is amazing. And then like that one pan happened, and I was like, the shit is this.
Yeah.
So after Batman and Superman like have their first meeting, where Superman's like, the next time they turn on your light, don't answer don't go to it.
Yeah.
Whatever. He drives back to the Bat Cave, and he hops out. He hops out of the Batmobile, and the camera is like up on the next level, looking down on him. And he goes to walk up the staircase, and the camera starts panning, and like you see him walking up the steps. He like disappears behind like some sort of like framing thing. And then he pops back up, and then the camera continues to pan, and like it goes behind a wall and continues to pan. Like, I'm gonna try to visualize it for Josh's sake. Sorry to the listener. Go rewatch the movie. But so here's Bruce Wayne, Batman without his cowl on, walking up these stairs. The camera's up here. There's a wall here, and where as a filmmaker, I would have cut right when you hit that wall, unless you were going to continue panning to be here where he's on top of the stairs. Because it looked like just like a short little wall segment, but it literally gets to the point where all you see is the wall, continues panning for another like second, and then cuts, and then he starts decoding the or whatever.
Flash nightmare.
Yeah,
that might have been.
I think that's right there at the nightmare.
No, because he's in his civilian clothes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That might have been something suffered because of the mass edits this film had.
That was one thing that went through my mind. And again, as a filmmaker, as someone who edits stuff, if you're going to chop there, fucking chop another 2 seconds off.
Yeah, if my
no, chop another 2 seconds off.
No, I'm agreeing. If I have only one complaint with this film, it will be of the editing that ended up becoming the theatrical release in some places.
I loved the movie. The one complaint I have is the entire movie.
Jake, I'm the idiot who drove down to Hampton to see the fucking IMAX trailer because I didn't want to risk not being able to see it.
Yeah.
And then after he got the tickets for that, realized that it's going to be playing at the or they announced it was going to be at Tyson's, and you were like, well, fuck.
Yeah.
And then
still drove down.
Then drove down free screening, which, let's be honest, it didn't end up being free for the amount of gas I had to spend to go down there. So, I thoroughly enjoyed it. We all liked it. All the explanations people have for some of the things that don't make sense, I can believe in them.
I can believe in Harvey Dent.
It's like people saying we didn't. This was a shitty Lex Luthor in this film. Yeah. I like to believe this wasn't Lex Luthor. This was Lex Luthor Jr. because he says his father named the company. Why the fuck would you name the company after a son you abused and hated? This is the son of Lex Luthor.
That for me is just that's inconsequential.
Mm-hmm.
But I like seeing a villain that was maniacal, evil, a genius intellect, didn't fucking want real estate, wanted to kill a god.
Man, you are hung up on Gene Hackman.
Yeah.
I'm hung up on
true.
I'm hung up on a ridiculous version of Lex Luthor.
Yeah, which is
again, to be fair, nobody here is.
He is a hack, man.
Yeah. Ooh, there you go.
And Kevin Spacey
Hackman.
too, to his credit.
Spacey plays it a little more serious, but yes, there is kind of like he's like, I'm gonna build Luthor land. Like it's not as he
It
doesn't
might
play.
as well have been. Thank you. Might as well have been Otisburg.
He doesn't play it for laughs as much as Hackman does, but they're yeah.
He still has the same drive.
He still wants to make his own land.
Like I said last week, like it looks like this Lex is somewhere on the spectrum, and he like plays it a lot better than the previous ones, if that's the plan.
And if that's true too, just as someone on the spectrum as well, getting that kind of visual representation on film, I'm even more all for it.
Even though he's the villain.
Who says we can't be the villain?
Whoa! I did not. I didn't say you couldn't be the villain.
Yeah.
I said I posited the idea. Wouldn't it be nice to be the hero for once?
Wouldn't it be nice?
I'm
I'm in terms of Luthor's, there's no, I guess like, it's not a Eisenberg's isn't a bad performance in and of itself until the climax where you just choose scenery. But every villain at the end of every fucking movie chooses
Bond
scenery.
villains love to eat scenery, lunch, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
They eat it wholesale.
Yeah, full course.
They go to the buffet on it.
Yeah, all you can eat. But I think my favorite Luthors are either Clancy Brown from Superman the Animated Series or Michael Rosenbaum from Smallville.
Yeah, and I would love to see that Lex show up eventually on like live action movie, but I went into this, and I'm sure it's on a previous episode where we're talking about the trailers.
It's
or
on
something
last
like that.
week.
Well, more specific, like me just being like, "Fuck Jesse Eisenberg being cast as Lex Luthor," without having seen anything beyond maybe a little bit of the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I am a huge Eisenberg apologist, and I did mention this last week. Like I'm like, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm like all those people. I'm like those, dozens of people that are like, oh, Ben Affleck actually did a good job. Or, take it further back, fucking Dark Knight, Heath Ledger did a great job as the Joker. All those people were like, nah, that guy that was in the Gabe Cowboy movie, he can't be the Joker. And I was like, yeah, he can. But like, yeah.
You know why? Because the Joker doesn't fucking exist.
Ooh.
We're going to get that again with Suicide Squad, too.
Yeah.
Though I love that. There's that one fucking image. And there's two images of the Joker I love from what we've seen so far in the Suicide Squad. One where he's just laughing in a circle of knives and guns, and another one where he's like a 1920s gangster villain just going crazy with a Tommy gun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah.
when he's in the suit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Alex Ross suit.
Yeah. Real quick, speaking of the Joker, something hit me this second time that I watched it. Specifically the line where, like during the legacy scene where Bruce and Alfred are talking, and he says the phrase like, or whatever the actual phrase is, but he like basically he says, "We've seen good guys turn bad," and like I was like, in my head I was like the gears had already been turning for like, if this is a Batman who kills, why is the Joker still alive? Because like the whole thing, like we see the Robin suit with the joke's on you, Batman,
In the obvious bullet holes.
Yeah, I was like, what if, again pulling from like the Dark Knight Returns universe,
I know
what
where
if
you're going.
what if Jared Leto's Joker is actually one of the previous Robins, and like that's
that's some
what
Dark Knight
he was.
Strikes again.
Yeah.
Shit. But no, I've seen that circulating too, where people have lined up that the bullet holes on Jared Leto's torso, like when he's like shirtless, the bullet holes on his shoulders match up to where the bullet holes are on the Robin suit.
Or
And he's younger.
He could also be referencing Two-Face.
Could. Yeah, he could.
I was hoping he would say just name drop Harvey.
Yeah.
According to Snyder in the original script, Riddler and Joker did show up.
Mm.
Yes.
So
The Riddler would have been like 250 pounds and jacked,
yeah.
and been like, I fuck people up with my cane. Riddle me this, you're
Or-
dead. Riddle me this, you're dead.
Or some of my friends have said, Eisenberg did a really great Edward Enigma performance.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, he did exactly what
Kind
they
of has
wanted.
he has the hair that Jim Carrey does in the beginning of Forever.
Yeah.
Ding 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 ding.
Oh, but also people who were like off put of this Lex, Eisenberg's also said, I don't know when the studio's going to want me back. Not because of my performance, not because of the film did, but just of where Lex fits into the universe.
Yeah, he's got a good out. You
Yeah.
know, he's got a, they leave
Never
the
saw
door.
Heath Ledger's Joker again. He was only in one movie that he could have been in, but still.
Yeah.
How happy were you guys when Kingpin showed up in season 2 of Daredevil?
Very.
That was pretty cool. I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, I was like, oh, hey.
It was just like, let's make a deal.
The
Lifting like 1,000 pounds.
the Punisher's evolution, I feel they tried to go for a same thing that Matt did within the first season of Daredevil, and I kind of don't like that they spent the entire season to get to where the Punisher ends up at the end.
Where does the Punisher end up at the end?
Full on Punisher.
Yeah.
Vigilante mode.
Yeah, the jacket, the spray paint skull on
His
the bulletproof
costume
vest.
I won't.
1.0.
I won't say what happens because Sam hasn't seen it yet. But the fucking moment, like where he like is in full on Punisher, where he's in full on Punisher mode,
Yeah.
is so fucking badass.
Oh, yeah, it's
that's when I
great.
was watching with my dad, and I was watching it a second time because I knew that part was coming, and I knew like he was gonna be so into it. And he was sitting in his chair, and he goes, "Oh yes, woo!"
How much Punisher is he
Yeah.
reading now?
He bought the like the omnibus Garth Ennis.
Oh.
So
I mean,
he's read more Punisher than I ever had. That's for sure.
They tease like the Punisher might do something in the series, but we never get to see him actually do it. And it's like in all of the visual representations, where he's holding like the minigun. I would have loved to have like actually see him use that, but he never does.
My favorite Punisher bit was the
The end of the
prison.
Dolph Lundgren Punisher,
Yeah.
where it's red and he's fighting all the karate people.
Yes. No. My
You mean the Yakuza?
in the Yakuza, but I don't know why that got a good laugh.
Yakuza,
Mi scusi. But
fettuccine alfredo.
Grazie.
grazie, buongiorno. my
Gorlami.
say
Margaretti.
say one more time.
Gorlami. Meatball. Woo! I got it.
My favorite Punisher bit in season 2 of Daredevil
Yahoo!
is when he goes off on that entire wing of a prison.
Yeah. And then he takes his blazer off
And
The Yahoo!
and suplexes it.
It's like the most uninterested Mario he's ever been. He's just like Yahoo!
Editor's note. That's Luigi from Mario Kart 64.
Oh yeah.
boom!
Yeah, well, that's why. Yeah, I don't give a shit. I
fucked
can't-
up, Jake.
I can't fake it.
Will that be in the
Way to
hard
be
copy,
a fake.
Sam?
You know what? That's it. You're fired.
That's
You're a
right.
fake nerd girl.
I'm gonna go sign the
Get outta
Zack
here.
Snyder petition.
Yahoo!
Stop ruining my movies.
Everyone I feel like is kind of like on the fence. I fucking love Elodie Young as Elektra. I'm just putting that out there.
Okay.
Like, the character conceptually never did it for me,
Mm-hmm.
but this fucking iteration, I love it.
I mean,
I
she's
love
no
it.
Jennifer Garner.
Yeah, you're right. She's good.
Ooh!
Dude,
I was about to
guys-
say,
I set
the
that
both-
one up
the
for
both
you,
of
and
you
you
guys-
swished it in.
yeah,
The both
Chris,
of you guys
no
fall
one can
for
suck
that.
bad.
That alley oop happens like all the fucking time. I think she's fine. For me,
because I know he's gonna say it, and
Yeah.
I think he knows I'm gonna say
that's why
it.
it works at the Globetrotters.
Yeah, exactly.
But
We're
no.
just the whistle.
Yahoo! The reason I don't fault the performance, and she grew. I love it, like as where it ended and what happens and all that kind of stuff, Elektra. But I just was bummed out that when they introduced her, I was in full on People vs. Frank Castle mode.
Yeah,
And so like having her come in at that time, I felt that it was taken away from that storyline where I wanted to just be all about the Punisher. So, but again, it evens out, and they give her moments and her story, and
Yeah.
it's fair to her to give a full 100% to her
But-
story. So.
And I was getting ready for this season thinking the Punisher was going to be the really big, full throughout the entire series type thing, and I feel like the second he gets sidelined in it, it's, we get more Elektra than we do of Frank in it.
I definitely was.
Well,
just
there's a
kinda like-
relationship already there built
Yeah.
between Matt and her.
I feel
True,
like
but
I agree. I agree with Josh. I feel like once once Elektra got introduced, I was just kind of like, so when do we get Punisher again?
Like, and I'll
He's
fully
the better character.
I
yeah.
will fully admit this. You know, there were scenes where I was just skipping through some of the episodes of the season, just being like, "Come on, get to a Frank part, or at least some more fighting with Elektra." I can't stand her just standing here talking. Just come on, something.
Curious.
You know, a true fan
Yeah.
would have watched the whole
Zack
episode.
Snyder would have finished the episode.
You know, I feel like you weren't giving the second season of Daredevil its just chance.
Oh, I
It's-
never liked the Elektra character.
Neither did I.
Yeah, again,
You know, this season
conceptually,
I was
never-
more again, like I said before, I was more excited for Punisher.
I was more excited for Wonder Woman and Batman vs Superman, but I watched the first hour and a half.
Yeah, I will say that I can go.
I was excited for the entire film.
I will say Charlie Cox's performance in season 2, especially like the build that he has. The build as a man, no, but his build as a character arc from season 1, like
His
season
physique.
season 2 of Daredevil, like his performance is like my favorite superhero performance.
Also, do they
I
have like
fucking love it.
a fetish for bloody noses? Because
I know
Well,
I do.
being
almost every
punched.
time they try to get him bopped in the nose and bleeding
an
from
easy-
it.
It's the boxer.
It's one of the simplest places to get blood coming out of you.
Yeah, it's really easy.
It's a very thin membrane. There are people like me on like the right kind of like dry day. If I inhale too quickly through my nose, I will start bleeding.
Right, but I
I don't know
mean,
why
there's
I laughed at it.
this.
Just yeah.
You dick.
The
That's I'm losing blood.
They
life
set it.
fluid.
They
Yeah.
set a
A
scene up.
vampire.
So,
essence.
well, they set a scene up so he can trail someone, you know, by getting him socked squarely in the nose. Like, I feel like they
Yeah,
almost have like a
The with the ninja with the blood dripping off of his knuckles.
yeah.
I thought that was
That's Snyder School. It's visuals.
yeah.
Visuals.
They speaking of visuals, they
Yeah.
do on Daredevil. They do an amazing job of having a very dark scene with very vibrant blood.
For sure,
And like
for sure.
I
For sure,
they,
for
they
sure.
But
did,
not enough
and
to
that was
put me off.
like sure.
And that's
For sure.
impressive.
Yeah. But like they do an amazing job. Like I'm like, wow, this scene is shrouded in shadows. You should only be able to see the silhouette of the blood, but you see the red, and I think that's a beautiful visual choice.
Actually, I just take back what I said. There's only one scene that puts me off.
Well,
And it's-
then fuck that whole show.
Well, it's
Mm.
the cages.
Mm,
Oh, yeah.
The KG
the
beast.
bloodletting. Yeah.
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 Bloodletting, yeah.
Yeah, into the giant.
Which
urn.
I was like, so when that happened, and I messaged Jake about this, I was like, can these like blood slaves please just lead into like a Blade storyline?
or
like-
Mad Max.
Sure, yeah,
Blood bags.
high octane.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But yeah, so fucking check out Batman vs Superman. Make
Yeah.
your own goddamn opinion. If you love the movie, awesome. If you hate the movie, awesome.
Bill Sam,
Yeah, yeah,
or no, Bill Josh.
yeah.
he's
yeah.
he's the one that's getting pissed off that you don't like it.
Yeah. Taking it personally, like it made the motherfucker. But the
Josh Zack Snyder Butler.
yeah, Dad. Watch Daredevil. Daredevil. I think Flash is a close second, but Daredevil's my favorite superhero show on right now. And then I guess number
Me
3 would probably be a toss up between.
Supergirl.
Supergirl.
From what I've seen
awesome.
of Supergirl or Jessica Jones, yeah, it's
And Supergirl supposedly takes place in the Man of Steel universe.
yeah.
Supposedly.
National City. But I was
Well, like in the comics.
I was saying the other day, I was like,
But were you Super Saiyan?
I'm always Super Saiyan 3, but I was saying the other day, I was like, I feel like Daredevil ruined Arrow for me, and then I realized Arrow ruined Arrow for me.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything. I haven't watched this season at all, but I haven't heard good things.
Josh.
How's Arrow?
Oh,
Hello, welcome to the show.
it hits a very small low point and then immediately rebounds past it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just like Scottie Pippen.
Just
Okay.
like when Stephen Amell went up against Stardust.
Yeah,
We are all Stardust.
but
We all star.
I
Or
will
like
also-
Triple H slipping during
Oh,
right
yeah.
before the main event of
Yeah.
WrestleMania this year, right,
I
guys?
will also say this about Daredevil of this season, that this is Marvel showing they can do dark and gritty and get a good commercial response. Like Iron Man 3 and Thor the Dark World, they tried it, and it didn't work out in their favor. I will say it.
This is like a hard R.
But this version just goes.
That's what it is.
just
You got to go hard
Yeah,
R.
well, it's also
does it extremely well.
It's good. Iron Man 3 is pretty good.
Up until the end.
Yeah. Thor: The Dark World is a bit of a miss.
Should have
It's
killed Penny.
But I feel like
Miss Potts.
again, Daredevil also has 13
Kill
hours
Penny,
to well now like what 26 hours total to flesh
Yeah.
out these characters.
Yeah.
Where they had like 2.
Yeah, well,
That-
I mean,
that really
I feel
helps
like
when you
this
have that
team
time.
could even make a fucking film, and it would
Oh,
still.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love it.
I mean, this could just be like a, this could have like a full fucking season and still be
I'd love it.
amazing.
And I feel like if you gave
I mean,
Iron
you
Man
wouldn't
3,
know, Sam. You wouldn't watch it until it's finished in full, though, right?
And
like
if they put it all on Netflix, like Daredevil, then yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you put the same thing, like if you took like the concept behind like Iron Man 3 or Thor: The Dark World and gave it more than 2 hours, gave it like a miniseries, even like 6-episode miniseries, it would have been a lot better because you would have had more time. And that's why I always like the idea of TV more than movies, because you have that time to flesh out.
X-Files.
You don't have to chop down into something nice and presentable to a movie going public, which is weird because like people will sit down and binge watch a show for like 6 hours a day, but like you ask them to sit through a 2.5 hour movie and they're like, whoa, 2.5 hours.
I'll do both.
I know. I'm saying people.
Oh yeah, I'm not
Royal people.
Normies.
Oh yeah, fucking normies.
Yeah. Norm of the North.
I'll do both too. Don't worry.
Yeah.
That's got a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
for
How's
anyone
how's the
listening.
Good Dinosaur doing?
Someone was talking about that recently, and I was like, "Shut the fuck up,
Fuck 'em.
fuck him, the Good Dinosaur."
What do you think? What do you say, John? Fuck him.
Fuck him.
And also watch Rambo 3.
Do it.
while you're at it.
Yeah,
Watch
do
Rambo
it.
3.
Real quick, one other thing that I wanted to mention about Batman vs Superman, not really part of a review, so it doesn't need to be attached in there, but the port scene where actually, okay, 2 things. One part of the review. Can after second viewing, I was like, when Bruce reveals that the White Portuguese is a ship. That scene, like as the writer in me was like, that could have easily been Alfred stumbling upon that scene, the picture of the ship, the White Portuguese, and being like, "Hey yo, Master Bruce," because why not?
He's Mick Jagger in this
Oi,
universe.
oi, shithead. Get your head out of your ass.
Fucker.
Hey, wanker.
Yeah, only a
Bat
proper,
wanker.
only a proper tosser.
They play Emotional Rescue by the Stones.
But he
In the background, they're just like going slow. The Stones are in the background, like.
But no, he just like walks up and he's like, "Hey, the White Portuguese is a ship. What the fuck?" And like that whole line where he's talking about how deception's really good, but I've always been able to tell when you're lying, or whatever the exact line is. Like I feel like that would.
Mozart to the harpsichord.
I feel like that would have fit even better in that part where he's like, "Hey, the White Portuguese is a ship. Why have you been telling me that it's a person?"
Yeah.
And like then he's like, "Because of kryptonite."
Which Batman didn't know.
Well, but what I'm saying is, I think it would have played better if he did know all along and he was lying to Alfred.
That would have been a tip.
Instead of lying about why he's trying to find it.
Yeah, I think I think that would have worked better. It would have made it a lot more believable that the White Portuguese is a ship, and the whole world's greatest detective. Like fuck you. Anyway, moving on. So later, when he's at the White Portuguese and like he starts up the Batmobile and he's like in that parking garage. Anyone else notice what the parking garage like had on its name?
No.
Yeah, I didn't notice it the first time either, but like the second time I was just like reading every sign that I could. And it's Nicholson Port or something like that. And I was like, I wonder if that's for Jack Nicholson.
Good old
So
Jack.
yeah, so there's that. That was what I wanted to add to the thing. Nicholson name drop.
Well done, Chris. Well
Yeah,
done.
right.
I don't got anything.
We could probably talk about this movie forever, but we got to stop.
like Batman Forever.
No, 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 no.
Yeah,
It's a
so
great fucking song.
it is. Check it out. But
The
yeah,
title of it being.
Is she with you?
Thank you, Chris.
man. Yeah,
I thought she was with you. Which is also a stupid line.
it is.
Most Great Detective.
Again, Call of Duty commercial. But same lighting, same quality, CGI.
Yeah.
Anyway, this has been another installment of Catching Up. I'm Sam.
I'm Chris.
I'm Jake.
I'm Josh.
Thank you very much.
Good night, Eric Bana.
Yahoo!
This has been another Geek Out production. If you enjoyed what you heard, hey, we've got a new commentary every Monday. We've got a special episode every Friday. Of course, there's the usual Catching Up show every Wednesday. And you get book club episodes just about every Tuesday these days. Thanks for listening.